Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back. Now, like I said last time, I've given up on raiding strongholds for the time being. We are currently on a contract to deliver some cargo to Sea Camp, but we came across this place, the Blood Cleavers Den, and it's got a fairly small, manageable number of orcs in it, so I thought it might make a nice warm-up battle. Ooh, only 5 orcs, berserkers and young. Well, given the small number of foes, this should be a pretty easy fight, but we also shouldn't expect to get any significant amount of loot out of it. We're almost certainly not going to get a famed item. I've pretty much given up on finding one of those at this point. So let's just take the easy XP and be happy about that. First things first, we need to take down this guy with the man splitter. Those are bad news. Fortunately, he proved to be a pretty easy target, so that's 1 orc down, 4 to go. Now let's set our spear wall in preparation for the remaining orcs. Unfortunately, most of these guys did in fact remember to wear armor, so it'll take a few extra arrows to drop them. There we go. Armor's gone. And while Wojtek didn't drop him, he did break his morale and dole out a solid shoulder injury. And since we don't want to engage them near that elevated terrain, we'll continue to hold back and keep our spears at the ready. And moving into round 3 to see what they do. Hang back, Sergeant Baggins, thank you. Oh, okay, that one just bypassed our spear wall entirely and engaged Baggins. First, let's have Fox take out that berserker before he can flee. And there we go. He doles out a crippling wound to the berserker on our south side as well. Oof. Okay, Chiron has been stunned, but there's only 3 orcs left on the field, so that's no big deal. We'll just start wrapping our entire battle line around them, starting with Rondis, the great sword wielder himself. Catch these guys with an arc attack. Oh, and an instant decapitation plus a broken morale. Now that's what I expect from a greatsword. That just leaves us with one potential threat on the field. That's the guy who's engaged Baggins. Oswald will hop Chiron and provide some support. And the rest of the men will just start slowly edging in that direction. In fact, let's get Sergeant Baggins' shield equipped, just to be on the safe side. And round 4. Ooh, well, that shield didn't last very long. Good thing I had it, though, because otherwise that hit would have probably taken off one of Baggins' limbs. And there we go. Bunny handily dispatches the last active orc on the field. Now we can all just dogpile on this last orc young who's looking to run away. There goes his face, and there goes his life. I see we've got Wojtek up a level. And actually some halfway decent loot for such an easy fight. That's maybe 500 or 600 gold worth of loot. All in all, not bad. A nice warm-up, and now we continue on our way to Sea Camp. We'll be right back. And welcome back again. We delivered our cargo to Sea Camp, and now we're headed over towards Torvaholm. But en route, we ran into this small group of brigand raiders, so again, I thought this might be a quick and easy source of experience points and loot. those marksmen, that's actually a decent number of marksmen. Those marksmen are probably the biggest threat on the field. We're going to need to be careful with them, especially with the guys wielding hunting bows and crossbows. There's a nice solid hit that pierced his leg muscle. Ooh, and wrong target, but there's a solid shoulder hit. Alright, as long as we can keep doling out crippling injuries on their marksmen, we have nothing to worry about. There's a pierced side from, who is that, Potato? And now Mark Richards gets his shot. Again, he hit the wrong target, but he still doled out a piercing chest wound. Very nice. Still, with this many marksmen on the field, we're going to play it safe and have our men hold formation and shield wall. Especially with those crossbows still around. Fortunately, we've warded off injuries thus far. And we're going to wait for their raiders to crash into our lines and start going for headshots. As usual, most of these guys forgot to wear helmets. Oh, wait. Okay, they're actually starting to move into a defensive formation of their own. That's interesting. I guess the raiders had second thoughts about charging into our front line. But they've still left these two marksmen on the south side exposed, so those are going to be my priority targets for the moment. Yeah, they've just fallen back and created a solid battle line now. Not that it saved that crossbowman, poor guy. Nice shot, Potato. And there we go. Mark takes down another marksman. They've only got 3 left. And we'll keep holding back and keep our shields at the ready. Once we've taken out another couple of their marksmen, they'll be forced to either retreat or engage. If they retreat, we'll start pursuing them. If they move up to engage, we'll start smashing skulls. But all in all, this is looking to be another pretty easy fight. Yeah, they're still holding that defensive formation. Ooh. Potato just took a crossbow bolt near the eye. That's a nasty wound. We're going to need to pull him back, I think. We don't want to risk having him clipped by another lucky shot. Especially now that that other raider's starting to throw stuff at us, too. Alright, Potato, let's get you back near this rock. That'll provide you with some good cover. I think it puts you out of range of their attacks anyway. And let's see if we can take out some more of their marksmen. In fact, now that Potato's moved back, we can start moving Roderick and Goon up. And Woe can move up behind them. That'll allow us to start whittling away at their front line, while still maintaining a decent archer row. Kyron can move in too, and then we can move Sergeant Baggins up behind him. That way we can engage them on 2 sides. The bonus here is it'll force that top raider, the one on the north side of their line, into switching back off of his javelins to defend himself. That's 1 less missile attack they'll be making at our archers. A couple of minor armor hits there. Ooh, okay. Well, Mark just took a crossbow bolt through the hand there. We need to retreat with him now as well. And once again, we quickly counter their... Well, that's what happens when you wound one of our brothers. Alright, so they managed to cripple Wojtek with a lucky shot, and then we killed 2 of them in return. That seems like a fair trade-off to me. And And looks like we've broken one of the raiders too, so we're going to want to engage him before he can run. That way we can take advantage of the free disengagement attacks. Alright, Roderick, let's get you back over to your flail. And he handily knocks out his armor with the first attack and shatters his ribs with the second. And let's go ahead and pull Mark Richards back. He can keep Potato company. Chiron lays into his foe, and Goon breaks out the hammer, doling out a crushing fatality, and then following up with a shield hit. And there goes that other raider. He's pretty freaked out. He is bolting for the edge of the map. Okay, round 5. Our 2 remaining archers will pick shots where they can. Alessandro fires after the fleeing raider, but strikes his shield. And Casimir will move up, and unfortunately he can't attack, but he can at least try to keep that raider pinned down. I think this is a good opportunity for Woe to unleash his new dog. And he doles out a nasty hit with his pike as well. Hey, leave the dog alone. Ooh, I think that was a pierced kidney. That's vicious, Sergeant Baggins. Well, at least he didn't have to suffer long, because Reinhardt just killed him. Splattered his brains all over the battlefield. Roderick steps up and finishes off another raider, leaving us with just 2 remaining, both of whom are trying to flee. But since we've got them surrounded on multiple sides now, they're not going to get far. Let's bring Faceless Goon up, and he... and death by disengagement. That just leaves us with the crossbowman, the one who has doled out 2 critical hits against our poor archers. He's already got a broken arm, so it's over. Faceless Goon hits level 9. Congrats, Goon. Woe the 77th is up to level 5. And no significant loot here. Guess we've got a boar spear there, a couple of daggers, and a kite shield. Chiron can always use some replacement kite shields. Alright, let's get over to Torvaholm, sell this extra loot, and hopefully we can find a new contract. And welcome back once more. Here we are at Torvaholm. Now, I've already taken care of most of the bookkeeping off screen, but I wanted to show this. First of all, I made a purchase for Chiron. Since he was generous enough to hand off his direwolf armor to Roderick at Roderick's request, I went ahead and rewarded Chiron by picking up a male hauberk for him. It doesn't have the same special intimidation effect as the direwolf mail, but it does have a higher armor rating, which makes Chiron our 2nd heaviest armored battle brother, right behind Rondus, though Roderick is a close 3rd. And then our other big purchase is this, the Raiding Lord's Cunning, our first famed item. Couldn't find one of these things in a stronghold no matter how hard we tried, but we finally managed to pick one up in the local marketplace. Go figure. Now, I do have a couple more items to sell here real quick, just to shore up our reserves. And let's take a look at the contract. Count Sorel von Rosenving breaks bread as you enter, but he doesn't share any. He dips both ends into a goblet of wine and stuffs his mouth. He speaks, but it's more crumbs than words. Good seeing you, Sellsword. I have some goblins southwest of Sea Camp that need rooting out. I'd send my knights to go take care of them, but they're, a little more important and less expendable. I'm sure you understand. He manages to stuff the rest of the bread into his ugly maw. For a moment he chokes, and for a moment you consider shutting the door and letting this end here and now. Unfortunately, his throes of anguish garner the attention of a guard who swoops in and slams the nobleman in the chest, spilling the hazard right out in all its goopy, near-assassinating glory. Well, this guy's definitely a jerk, but The pay looks halfway decent, almost 3,000 gold for the job. I'm not keen on taking on more goblins, but I suppose I shouldn't turn my nose up at a paying gig. We'll at least take a look at Shanarax in the southwest swamps, and if it looks too hard, we'll just dump the contract and find some other paying work. We'll make the trek off screen, and we'll be back once we've reached the goblin fortress of Shanarax. Mark Richards, the bowyer, comes to you with a bit of a request. He wishes to build a weapon for the ages. Apparently, the man has been attempting to build a bow of legendary qualities for many years, but now that he has been on the road, he's picked up a few things to fill in his gaps of knowledge. Truly, he believes he can get it right this time. All he needs is a few resources to help procure the elements needed to construct it. A sum of 250 crowns is what he humbly requests, and the quality wood you carry. Well, we've been waiting for this event to proc, so go right ahead, Mark. Build me a bow of legends. Ha! Success! The bow isn't quite legendary, but it is quite good. It's light in the grip, easily spun from side to side with the air whistling as it whirls. You test the draw. A strong man will be required to wield it, that is for sure. When you loose an arrow, the shaft travels unbelievably straight, and the shot almost seems to aim itself. A brilliant weapon if you ever saw one. Alright, well that cost us 250 crowns and some quality wood, but we gained Mark Richards' masterwork bow. I think that is... and an ambition fulfilled. It was no easy task seeking out one of those rare items recognized as a talisman of fighting men, but the raiding lord's cunning is truly remarkable. The men fairly glow with pride after acquiring it. Around the fire, some of the brothers even grow maudlin and teary-eyed when in their cups, pawing it like a favorite hound. "Isn't it beautiful?" Rondus the Uncleaved asks while admiring it in the glow of the campfire, quickly cut off by another of the men. "Turn it this way so I can have a proper peek." In the events that follow, your men are parading the raiding lord's cunning around like the trophy head of some fearsome beast, usually in taverns or at festivals and near other sources of mead and beer. The brothers make a habit of showing their prize off everywhere you go. As well they should. We worked hard for that dagger. I'll have you know it cost us over 2,000 gold. Alright, that's another ambition down, so just a matter of time before we have to pick a new one. And in the meantime, let's keep heading towards Shanarax. And welcome back. We've been ambushed. Fortunately, it's just by a pack of rather feeble nachzehrer. They hit us right before we got to that land bridge leading over towards Shanarax. And, honestly, considering this is mostly smaller, younger nachzehrer, I can't imagine this is going to be much of an issue. Let's just start cutting these guys down with arrows, and we'll improvise from there. There's an arrow through the neck, a torn-off ear, a pierced side, and our first fatality, and our second. Nicely done, Alessandro. And let's go ahead and start advancing to try to discourage them from eating these corpses. We'll bring up our two-handers. And we'll leave the archers where they are, I think. Oh, I should have moved up Baggins. I passed his turn by accident. And here come the nachzehrer. There's a pierced side, a pierced hand, and they're literally throwing themselves into our spears. There's a pierced leg and a pierced side. And a pierced hand and another pierced leg there. Pierced shoulder and a pierced chest. Pierced leg. These guys are literally killing themselves. Speaking of which, there's a fatality. Though one did sneak through our defenses and managed to devour a corpse. Given how much damage we've inflicted on these guys, though, I am not concerned about that at all. Let's bring Baggins up. He won't be able to attack until next round, though. And the archers will just, pick off shots where they can. Fox drops one of the nachzehrer easily. And fires off two more arrows, one of which finds its mark. Bunny starts picking on one of the tougher nachzehrer, practically killing it. And, Alessandro and Wojtek aren't able to pick up the slack. But there goes another nachzehrer, overwhelmed by our offense. Rondis lays into another nachzehrer with his legendary dagger. And Faceless Goon, I think it's time to bust out the hammer again. Crunch. This is sad. Alright, Roderick, get in there. Handily fells another nachzehrer. Chiron moves up and starts laying into yet another, half killing it. And a little bit of end of turn maneuvering, and round 3. There's a minor armor hit on Roderick, a couple of shield hits, a minor armor hit on Faceless, and now it's time for us to keep slaughtering them. And Bunny sneaks in a shot, piercing one of the nachzehrer's chests. Henry Baggins tears open a nachzehrer's shoulder with our banner. And Fox manages to drop 2 of them. Nice. That leaves us with just 3 nachzehrer, 2 of which are ready to run. Igotis steps up, slices open one of the nachzehrer's hands. Rondis handily dispatches one of the others. Leaves us with 2 nachzehrer remaining, both of whom are badly injured and trying to flee. This is pretty much the definition of a milk run. Let's see who will get the finishing blows here. Moving into round 4. No, run them down. The archers can stand down for the moment. And Henry gets... Actually, he can't reach them from there, so... There we go, Vlad. Vlad dispatches one of the remaining nachzehrer, and then dispatches the other. So both Henry and Vlad are up a level. Fox pulls MVP with 4 kills. And the loot's a handful of teeth. Nothing new there. We'll take it for now, but we'll dump it as soon as we find anything better. And we will continue across the land bridge towards Shanarax. Okay, so apparently this land bridge is a highly traveled area, because no sooner did we finish off those nachzehrer than we encountered these brigands who are rushing across the same exact route. Maybe they were chasing the nachzehrer, who knows. Either way, we're going to take them down. It's more loot and more XP. Now, once again, I've swapped in some of our lower level characters just to give them the chance to get some experience points. But both of our wounded archers, Potato and Mark, are sitting on the sidelines for the moment. We're off to a good start, piercing the hands on one of their crossbowmen. I'd actually like to get that Warbrand if I can. Otherwise, I don't see any particularly impressive gear here. Ooh, nice. Alright, so we've already taken out their biggest damage dealer. We've killed their crossbowmen immediately this time. So now we're going to start focusing fire on that Warbrand wielder. Nice, we've already double crippled him with an elbow wound and a chest wound. They've got one raider hanging back to provide cover for their 2 remaining marksmen, but the rest of them are rushing towards us, so we will happily meet them. We've doled out a concussion already. That's one of the nastiest, most crippling wounds you can inflict with a crushing weapon. Roderick will step up. And Chiron will start sneaking around this tree. We'll see if we can bring him up around their battle line to take out those archers. That marksman with the light crossbow could be an issue. We'll have to see. Nice shot, Woe. We'll have to see if we can take out that crossbowman before he gives us any trouble. Round 2. There's their other marksman, but... okay. Both of their marksmen missed. I can't take them too lightly, even though they're wielding Tier 1 weapons. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick this guy off. Nicely done. A pierced lung followed by a fatal injury. And now we just need to worry about this guy with the crossbow. He has cover, but ooh, nice. Alessandro doles out a solid shoulder wound. Roderick's taking a bit of a beating there, though. I don't think anything's gotten through his armor yet, but he lost his helmet there. Whoa. We'll take a shot at that guy, but no contact. Reinhard will dole out another concussion. Very nice. And Chiron will keep creeping towards that crossbowman. Casimir. Wow. Casimir brutally slaughters that guy. That was quite a death gurgle. Despite his shorn armor, Roderick doles out a couple of crippling wounds. Goon busts out the hammer. One fatal injury. And the second guy turns aside his attack with a shield, but that's fine. Roderick shatters this guy's morale, followed by shattering his nose. There we go. The crossbowman's on the brink of death. And the raider who is shielding him drops to the ground dead. An arrow protruding from his chest, followed closely by the crossbowman himself. Well done, archers. Well done. That leaves us with just 3 foes left on the field. 2 of them are broken. So let's just clean up. Chiron, with no marksman to slaughter, draws his dagger and moves up from behind, pierces the leg of one of the fleeing raiders. Rondus draws his legendary dagger and fells one of the foes before piercing the arm muscles of another raider. And there goes the last one. They're all broken now. Once again, Casimir's presence is simply too glorious to be fathomed. It's so satisfying crushing people with that great hammer. Alright, Roderick can... Roderick is too fatigued. We are not letting this guy run, though. Let's see, stand down, archers, you're too far away. But Henry has an opening. Nice, he takes out his armor and part of his health. Fox has an opening. And he fells the last of the raiders with one deft shot. Looks like Fox and Alessandro are both up a level. Fox is our first level 9 archer, so I'll have to put some thought into what perk to give him. And he pulled MVP too. Double congratulations, Fox. And congrats to Alessandro as well. As far as loot goes, we've got some filler armor, nothing great there. We've got a decent chunk of supplies. A couple more daggers. I think we've got more daggers than we need at this point. And we just capped out our inventory. So we'll have to start picking and choosing which loot to leave behind once we've taken out Shanarax. Speaking of which, we definitely don't have enough time to take down Shanarax this episode, so we'll pick up there next time. Hey, RetconRaider here. Now I'll admit, today's episode was mostly just filler, smaller, easier fights. But it gave us a whole lot of valuable XP and a decent chunk of gold. Plus, of course, we had the monumental luck of finally getting our first famed item. Granted, it would have been nice if we had actually earned one in battle, but after spending so much time combing the countryside and assaulting random fortresses, I'll take what I can get. Though we did get a bit of a double whammy there, with Mark Richards crafting us a masterwork bow right afterwards. That's actually one of the best bows in the game, so while it's nice to get a famed dagger, that bow is definitely the highlight of the episode. I don't think that event can trigger more than once, so for now the masterwork bow will be wielded by whichever archer happens to have the highest marksmanship score, which at the moment happens to be Fox. Now, I'll admit I'm a bit surprised we didn't encounter any warning signs about the impending endgame crisis. I guess it can technically happen as late as day 70. I was just expecting us to hit it a bit earlier than that. But I suppose I shouldn't complain, because I'm sure I'm going to start stressing out like crazy once we find out whatever horrors the game has in store for the raiders. But for now, I'm feeling pretty good. We made some solid progress today, with multiple level ups as well as some solid equipment upgrades. Hopefully that'll be enough to help us take down our very first goblin outpost. I guess we'll find out next time. This is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.